To me, these things are still toy cars, and we really enjoy it. So there's a couple guys that we race with that, you know, depending on how we're doing, there may or may not be some paint swapping, some wheel rubbing, and get to a point where we're laughing so hard we may be crying on the driver's seat, just laughing, having a good time. And
Every 2 years, IFMAR hosts a 10-scale Worlds. In 2017, we found ourselves in Xiamen, China for one of the most neutral Worlds ever held. Like most IFMAR selections, this was one that was shrouded in controversy by most of the drivers. The most vocal of the drivers was Ryan Maifield.
This isn't really a race in my opinion. I mean, the track isn't raceable, so I don't see how this is how you determine a world champion. I wish that IFMAR could figure it out and actually talk to us and see what we wanted to race on and where we wanted to go race, because this to me is not acceptable for a world championship.
If you glue them, I will not take them.
I'm worried. I think we might die. He's going to hang someone.
You come to these events and you're not racing the next guy. You're racing the crazy conditions or the crazy circumstances that happen. I think this is why the World Championships don't hold as much value as they used to. Everybody agrees, but nobody else is going to say it.
Ryan Maifield pulling off the double as they come down the line. An unbelievable feat here from Maifield.
From 0 World Championships to 2. Congratulations. Amazing, amazing run.
chug it.
Oh, you're saving it.
That's good. Not bad champagne right there. I just need some OJ. I'm a mimosa. Good job, man.
Good job, man.
Oh, really? I looked at it, I'm like, it's there.
This week has been amazing. Today was especially very surprising to me. And you know, I ran for a few great companies that have really made me who I am. And working with Yokomo has really been great, and we've done a lot together, obviously. And thanks to Jason Rona, he's not here, but he's been a big part. And everybody here are my peers, and I have a great time racing everybody. And I want to thank everybody for all the experiences and all the the great memories. And that's it. Thank you.
While Tessmann didn't have the showing he wanted to in China, that was in his rearview mirror, and he was hard at work prepping for the next Worlds.
Time we do, spend time working on this thing. It's never going to be done, but it's running, so take it for a spin.
And your 10th and final qualifying spot is a tie. Both drivers with 25 points. It comes down the tie-break in IFMAR is whoever has the higher point result. So your 10th and final qualifier making his bid for the world title from Australia, Kyle McBride. Your 11th qualifier, Ty Tessmann.
How many two-wheel drive innings have you made at the World?
None. Thanks for bringing that up, though. Appreciate it.
4-3.
Given that Ty is a nitro buggy world champion, it's almost hard to imagine that after attending 3 10-scale worlds, he's never made a single A final in the coveted two-wheel drive class.
I think we can learn more here because when you run on a track by yourself, the track doesn't change from run to run much because there's not a whole bunch of people running on it. So when you make your change on your car, it's a pretty good test that it's the car that changed, not the track.
Eventually you get to where you run out of stuff to try, so you just start doing crazy stuff, but for the most part it's just trying things. Sometimes you try things over that you haven't tried in a while, see if anything's changed. Yeah.
Are you doing any crazy stuff today?
Some crazy stuff. Super secret crazy stuff.
Like what?
Like stuff I can't tell you, that's why it's super secret. I don't know if I can trust you, pretty shady.
Rumors are swirling about a venue change, and the Tessmanns are perfecting their loose track setups. Rumors soon turn to fact. Worlds that were originally to be held in France have moved to Slovakia, more specifically to the Hudy Arena, home of X-Ray. This was a controversial decision, and many drivers voiced their concerns over the move. This isn't the first time that IFMAR stirred up controversy, and it won't be the last. The 2015 Worlds in Japan, hosted at the Hudy Arena, saw the off-road Worlds held on a turf track for the first time. It gets even more confusing. Hudy had one of the most well-known dirt tracks in the world.
I think it's a really big fail on IFMAR's part.
I don't think that AstroTurf should be considered off-road.
It's kind of disappointing. I've always thought off-road should be on dirt.
If they decide to stay with AstroTurf, I would maybe push us not to go to that event because it doesn't make sense for our sales and our market.
They've chosen to go with, so we have to, everybody has to prepare for it and do the best they can on it.
Spnecer Rivkin in tow across the start finish line they go. When 2:20 to go. It's Team Auto! Team upside down! The crowd cheers as Spnecer Rivkin goes to the front. It is Spnecer Rivkin.
Spnecer Rivkin took the two-wheel drive title. A few days later, Bruno Coelho would win the title in four-wheel drive. With both the Hudy and IFMAR Worlds in the distant past, drivers and teams refocus on the traveling circus that is professional RC car racing. In 2018, Dustin Evans took the prestigious win at the Reedy race. At the Desert Classic that same year, it was Ryan Maifield sharing wins with Tessmann. For the 2019 installment of the Reedy race, Tebow took his first ever win at Reedy.
Hanging on for the
Maifield and Rivkin cleaned up at the 2019 Roar Nats. Is the momentum in Ryan's favor? Will he get title number 3 or even number 4?
At the Worlds, somebody could just find something magically and go fast, like kind of what happened in China with me. I got the cars good in the last couple days with help. Lee was helping me, and then just kind of had to drive it good for 3 runs, and it ended good. So yeah, we'll see. Long week of racing for sure.
We landed in Vienna and were escorted by a strangely quiet driver to the home of X-Ray and the Hudy Arena, Trencin, Slovakia. Trencin is located in the western part of the country, near the border with the Czech Republic. It has a rich history that dates back to ancient times, the Roman period to be exact. Today, Trencin is known for its picturesque old town cobblestone streets, colorful buildings, and historical landmarks, and the surrounding rolling hills. The X-Ray facility is unlike any other in the industry.
It's pretty close to the Hudy Arena. This is really a nice facility.
The facility's amazing. They did a great job. Obviously, a lot of these guys from Europe and England and stuff come here all the time. Most of us Americans have never been here. It's pretty cool.
It's like a F1 factory, kind of what you would imagine a real race, like a full-size race car team to have.
Best facility I've ever seen.
Definitely a lot of money in this joint, that's for sure.
I don't think any other company has this sort of facility at where their main factory is.
I mean, this is like a dream facility. Like, if I was to ever own a company, this is exactly how I'd want it.
I think facility is amazing because so big and yeah, really nice to be here.
Hey, so this is a 10 scale race, you know that, right?
Yeah, I know.
Davide Ongaro, fresh off his 8-scale title, is here to try his luck at the smaller scale of 10-scale racing.
I mean, I think that my driving style is like two-wheel drive, not like four-wheel drive, so full throttle everywhere.
So with 8 scale, you gotta be full throttle everywhere, right?
No.
Steps.
Then I'm driving mine wrong.
Yeah.
With a contingency purse pushing $20,000 per class, it's not surprising that these worlds have drawn out the best drivers from all around the world.
There's money to be made, for sure. That's why we're all here. That's why we're doing it.
Ty is right. This does feel more like an F1 factory. It had a full-service bar and restaurant.
This is where Bruno dominates, but when he runs the track backwards, he has to change his whole setup.
Places to relax, and loads of memorabilia from X-Ray's long history. X-Ray had very humble starts and have slowly grown over the years. Uri started his company, which held his namesake, under communist rule at the peak of the Cold War. When communism fell in 1990, businesses were incentivized to remain in former communist countries. Hudy, who had the most humble of beginnings, was now set to take advantage of tax credits and expand.
Everything started with when Uri bought a garage just right behind our building, which is like 100 meters from here. And he put 2 small machines there and he employed 2 workers.
X-Ray really is a family business.
It's my father who is the boss, then it's me and Mario. I'm taking care of the development of the on-road cars. And Mario is taking care about the marketing, distributors, and stuff like that. And then we have also Mario's wife, which is taking care about accounting, and then also my wife is communicate with the distributors, dealers, and also with the customers.
Uri is active in all aspects of the business. He is also active in all aspects of this event as well.
Okay, enjoy. Thank you.
While other manufacturers have sourced out manufacturing, X-Ray builds everything right here in Slovakia. While the Hudy facility is surrounded by military contractors, Hudy maintains that they only do manufacturing for their RC divisions.
Since we started with the X-Ray, we had to expand, and that's why we also build the place where we are right now.
The factory floor is state-of-the-art. Film cannot possibly do this facility justice. Everything X-Ray makes is built in-house. When drivers receive prototype parts in the mail, they look like production parts, ready for hobby store shelves. As the legendary Hudy attention to detail spilled into the preparation and presentation of these worlds. And do they have some kind of home court advantage? Over the next 8 days, we will find out.
always finish last. You're running out of gas. Your sympathy will get you left behind. Sometimes you're at your best when you feel the worst. You feel washed up like this going down the drain. Pressure cooker, bang my brain and tell me I'm insane. I'm so fucking happy I could cry. Every joke and habit's true, but now the joke's on you. Oh, night skies finish last when you run out of gas. Don't pat yourself on the back, you might break your spine.
Day 1 is check-in day. Drivers will register for the event, pick up some swag, and start gluing their spec tires. So, we're going to be skipping all that super boring shit. All I will say is that about 18,000 tires were glued that day, and somebody made a pile of cash.
I think it cost us about $350 just to enter. We've already spent just today €580 on tyres, so it's an expensive activity for us. Yeah.
On day 2, we'll see the best drivers in the world hit the track for the first time.
Just to throw down for the first practice, see what happens. Never been here before, so we don't, other than it being super loose, we don't really know what else to expect, so. Yeah, we came here with an open mind and a couple different options, and see what happens.
Drivers and infamous film crews begin to arrive.
Hey, what's going on? How's everybody back in America? We're not live? All right.
Who is Eddie the Eagle Edwards?
He is a folk hero in the UK.
It was funny. He's a skier. Not very good, but everyone liked him.
He has a movie I haven't watched.
Hugh Jackman played your manager. Taron Egerton played you. And he had bottle top glasses, and he was the biggest star in the world for about a year and a half.
He wasn't very good at anything, but he wanted to make the Olympics.
He's terrible, isn't it? No, he's just terrible.
Absolutely rubbish, but his heart was there.
So what exactly does Eddie the Eagle Edwards, a British ski jumper, have to do with these worlds?
I was reading the news when it switched from France to here. And I went, wouldn't that be great to race at the Worlds at Hudy Arena, racing for X-Ray, being around all the atmosphere. That's when it really drew my attention to it and put it on my radar. So I put things together, started attending some races, did a resume, and applied for a spot because we don't really have qualifying events in Canada.
Paul Parks, who hails from Calgary, where Eddie gained international fame literally overnight at the 1986 Winter Olympics, has a lot in common with Eddie. He is very passionate about RC, but as far as skill goes, Paul is here for the experience and the fun of it, not to win. His only goal? Don't finish dead freaking last.
It's probably going to cost me about $1,700 for the flight, accommodations, car rental, food, tires. No, not including the race fee. Yeah. How much was the race fee? The race fee was $450. But hey, some things you can't put a price tag on though. That's the way I look at it.
But if we were to put a price tag on it, Paul has spent over $2,500 to attend these worlds. He is traveling and participating on his own dime, unlike the top pros that are paid to be here and are paid to win.
It wasn't as pushy as his. His car wouldn't turn at all.
Adding to the pressure to win are track conditions that very few of these drivers have ever driven on.
Overall, the balance was good. I thought it was pretty good. If you look at your lap times, you're like, not even close.
The spec tire at this year's Worlds is the Proline Whole Shot, released in 2004. These tires just might be older than some, if not most, of the participants.
I can't even remember tie racing whole shots in electric. In gas truck, I can remember it, but I can't remember it in two-wheel or four-wheel. It was before we were racing.
The last time these tires were used was when motors on a two-wheel drive buggy were behind the transmission. The year was 2005. The location was Italy. Neil Cragg drove his RC10 B4 to victory that year. In a way, I'm surprised that no one showed up to these Worlds with a rear-engine two-wheel drive buggy. The loose conditions made this a very challenging track. It may very well be the most challenging track conditions since those 2005 World Championships in Italy, where the track was also very loose and very much blown out. But back then, that was how every track was. One of the main controversies surrounding these Worlds was track time. The fear was that X-ray drivers would have an unfair advantage.
Trying to get on pace. We have 4 runs to try to get on pace with guys that have a year of testing on the same track. So
no way. No fucking way. No. The people that know me well know that I don't come here so often. I come here to make the races when they happen. I was here on warm-up, and then the week that it was open, I was here to test, and that's it.
Advantage or not, the pressure to win exerted upon the X-ray team drivers was huge.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it from almost everybody that they said there's no excuse for us not to win, but it's just, it's the World Championships, anything can happen.
The warm-up race held earlier in the year also saw 2 X-ray drivers taking the wins in both classes, with a huge margin of victory.
Yeah, I think it went pretty good. Learned quite a bit. We started so far off, so we for sure learned a lot of things, and then the surface is the loosest I've ever driven on. So yeah, it's low grip.
We only tested here at the warm-up. I mean, there's no tracks anywhere near like this in the States. I would say I'm a conventional driver on the high grip tracks. I've never even raced on this in my entire life other than the warm-up race.
The other hurdle teams are facing is that most of the modern buggies are designed for high grip clay and carpet tracks.
You know, these Worlds either go good or they go bad. You don't really know what to expect, you know. So you just go in with an open mind and, you know, try your hardest, put in as much effort as possible, and, you know, wherever you finish, as long as you try your hardest. So, I think I put more pressure on myself for like races like Nitro Challenge, Silver State, stuff like that, stuff I've been to before. You know, it's a lot of work. Everybody's been to those same tracks, so it can everybody's on a more even playing field. So,
with seating practice over, it's time to get into some qualifying to see who's fastest for 5 minutes instead of just 3 laps in a row. The paddock was a busy place. After 5 rounds of practice, teams put the best setups they could on their buggies. X-Ray, having seated Coelho and Tessmann into the top 2 spots, was the most confident. Even though they had a dismal showing at the warm-up, rumors in the pits are that the tried and tested Associated buggy would be tough to beat. Would youth prevail, or would we see one of these wily veterans on top again?
I think you don't need to. That was good. That was a fine guy. No. Who's that guy?
In addition to seasoned veterans with multiple World Championship events under their belts, as they say, there were some first-timers here. Tommy Heinz and Craig Jelin, to name just a couple.
Kind of ready for tomorrow. Well, not ready, but can't wait to go on the track tomorrow, really. So.
Got a girlfriend?
Nope.
Having parted ways with X-Ray, citing a toxic environment, CJ is now running Kyosho buggies.
Yeah, I'm using like Kota. Him and I talk, and we both feel the same thing, and then so we're getting the car better for sure.
It was not exactly going well for Team Kyosho International. Like most, they were struggling to find rear grip.
Didn't have the as much rear grip as I'd like, so it was a little bit sketchy. Had to take it easy, but crashed on the very last lap. Luckily, I didn't have to get marshaled, but still it costed me.
Kevin, CJ's stepdad and pitman, didn't look too impressed with how CJ's qualifying was going so far.
He's been very upset about how I'm driving, so not the greatest. But yeah, it's a good thing I don't have a headset.
Adversely, Tommy's runs were improving with each run on the track. It helps having a former world champion in the pits coaching him.
I think he started off struggling a little bit, but he's getting the hang of it, and I think it's a little bit overwhelming for him to be at his first Worlds, and so I think he's having fun though, which is good.
Stop it. Larry freaking Mo.
It's going okay. I'm having decent runs with not many mistakes. The last run was no mistakes, but I'm just slow. So if I can get a little more grip, can drive harder, I think it'll be better. But I knew coming here it was going to be a stacked race. I was hoping for the C, but right now I'm sitting 40th, so if I can manage to get another good run tomorrow and put it in the D, I'd be happy.
Given this field of talented drivers, both CJ in 34th and Tommy in 42nd have little to be ashamed of. It's now time for the top drivers to hit the track for their qualifying rounds. As mentioned, the pressure is on the X-Ray team drivers to perform. For everyone else, it almost seemed like they were just there to play spoiler.
My car now was more not so rolling, you know?
Yeah,
like
that's
before.
what I was going to say before. You come into the corner and it goes and it dumps if you come in too fast.
Yeah, before I felt like left and right, it was like too lazy, and then when it turns, just lose the rear, you know? Now it was more direct, it doesn't lose the rear so much.
Yeah. You didn't ask though, so I didn't tell you.
It's okay. I read your mind.
Feels pretty toxic to me.
Yeah, I'll try to drive the same. Was a very good round. The ASO guy was like 6/10 behind me, so it's very close. It's almost nothing. I mean, on this category, when you lose a little bit the rear, you lose immediately 7/10 almost. So yeah, we need to improve the car. But you know, in this moment, you are kind of, your car is good, your round was good. Should I touch it or not? You know. So I'm kind of afraid to change something and then go wrong, and I'm not able to make it again first or second. You know. But same another point, I feel not comfortable to have like so close the guys, you know. So yeah, I will discuss with Martin Bayer about it, and we'll decide what to do for the Q2.
The first round went pretty well for X-Ray. Bruno and Ty were first and third respectively, with Spnecer Rivkin sandwiched between them. But Spencer's hot lap was fast.
Spencer's fast lap was really fast. We were 4/10 off of that, but pace overall run time was about the same as, very close to Spencer's, but slower than Bruno's.
I've been kind of just sticking with what my car's given me and just kind of running out with just the same setup and just focusing on driving, and that's been the biggest difference. So I'm doing the best I can. The car is giving me as much as it can. The track, you can't really ask for any more of the track. You're just kind of, the track's racing you, and you have to just drive accordingly. Our whole team's been working great together. It's been phenomenal. And just seeing, all the competitors here at one race, like you said, like, the World Championships, it's always an awesome feeling. But at the end of the day, it's just a big club race. It's the way I look at it anyways.
The talk in the pits was that if Spencer could clean up his run just a little bit, he would dominate qualifying. Before the race started, X-Ray headquarters let the team know they would be forced to run the long wheelbase prototype buggy. Even though Bruno and Ty had fantastic runs, Their buggies definitely didn't look anywhere near as planted as Ty's practice car from a few months ago. Will Eastern European stubbornness get in the way of a title? Yokomo, whose buggies are designed for high grip conditions, were having a terrible go in the first round. Maifield was 6 seconds off the pace set by Coelho. He managed to close the gap in round 2, but he was barely hanging on to a top 10 spot at this point.
It was like a little more pushy, and that's what caught me off guard, and I fucking crashed, had to get marshaled. But once I kind of figured out what it was doing, it was way better. Like at the end, I mean, Mark there was way ahead of me, and I caught him, and he didn't fucking crash. Yeah. You know what I mean?
The pressure for a good finish in round 3 was mounting.
It was a little bit of a roller coaster ride today. I mean, my car really hasn't been on the track twice the same. I got to get another, I got 2 decent points, a 2 and a 6. I need to definitely get another. It would be nice to get another top 3, try to start up as high as possible, but I'm sure the points are going to be pretty crazy because there's a lot of inconsistencies going on out there.
The last thing Ryan wants is to just squeak into the main and try to work his way through the pack. But that may very well be how his story unfolds at these Worlds. In round 2, Spnecer had a clean run and handled it TQ. The question now is, can anyone catch him?
He works his ass off and he studies, he does his homework, and he comes to these races and he knows what he's doing. So I don't know if anybody really has anything for him because he's got a lot of comfort out there and a lot of consistency. So
in round 3, Spnecer once again set the bar just a little bit higher by putting in his best run yet. This is somewhat surprising, considering he's doing it all from the B qualifier.
It's kind of weird being in the big qualifier, so you don't really know what pace to really go off of. So I'm just driving my own pace and just giving it everything I have. I mean, I'm not over driving because the guys that are over driving in the A heat are crashing. So
in the pits, his biggest fan was super stoked not only with how Spnecer was doing here today, but how his RC career is going. A career that had a very humble start.
I bought him a Jado, nitro Jado gas powered thing, and I took him to parking lots and let him go play around cones, and he got just a love for it. And then my next step from that was to buy him like an 8-scale Mugen Nitro. I went from like a little scale car to like the full blown out race car. He used to walk off the stand every run, broken arms or broken wheels or tires come unglued, but I told him not to give up, just to get this car fixed, work on it, and get back on the track again, and that's what he continued to do.
Round 4 would give Spnecer his 3rd consecutive TQ and the overall TQ.
I actually didn't realize that round would secure the TQ. I hadn't even really been paying attention, to be quite honest with you, but when we showed up to the warm-up, it was a complete debacle the way me and Dustin showed up. We were 3.5 seconds off a lap compared to Bruno and Martin, so it was just a nightmare. It's been a complete group effort to get to where we are here at the Worlds, and we put in a lot of time, and it pays off.
The first day of qualifying has come to an end, and Team Associated would have Spnecer Rivkin and Davide Ongaro on top. X-Ray's Bruno Coelho was in 4th place. Maifield down in 6th, and Tessmann was a dismal 7th place. But Ty had made the show for the first time in his career. Could he, or anyone else, spoil Spnecer's near-perfect march to the title? The final day of two-wheel drive was upon us. Today we would finish off qualifying with one final round and then go straight into the finals, where a new two-wheel drive world champion will be crowned. While both Rivkin and Ongaro seemed unusually relaxed, tensions elsewhere in the pits were high. Cavalieri, Finn, and Tebow were struggling to say the least. While Ryan did manage to squeeze into the show, Jared and Dakota weren't quite so lucky. JP Richards, attending his first ever Worlds, was also stuck deep in this group.
They called off all the numbers, and I guess the clock didn't actually start until the first 4 cars got across the line. So the first 4 cars, their first lap didn't count, so then it finally started counting once we crossed the line, technically for our first lap, which wasn't that on the clock. So they said everybody to keep going, and then I guess after the run, they've decided to just rerun it. For me, it actually works out. You could say I'm given a third gift because I crashed on my first lap. So, and then I ended up being on the clock correctly, even though my crash didn't count, and then I actually ended up crashing again on next to last lap. So yeah, you could say I'm pretty lucky on that one.
You guys did protest?
No. Well, it was withdrawn.
So they are going to rerun it?
No.
Luck would not be on their side.
I got my main card blue.
All 3 would have mediocre runs, and their chances for a title are gone. Tommy and CJ were also hoping that this final round would improve their positions. It really didn't. CJ, with a poor handling buggy, would move up only slightly to 35th. As for Tommy, who is in a rowdy E grouping, would struggle with traffic and would finish down in 49th spot. One of the feel-good stories of these Worlds absolutely has to be Neil Cragg. He has been quietly putting in consistent runs and has worked his way into the show.
For an old man, not too bad at all. Pretty happy with that. That was my goal coming in, to make the two-wheel drive final. You know, I know I'm not fast enough or committed enough to win these days, so if I could make the final, I'll be absolutely ecstatic. I am really pleased.
So this is you absolutely ecstatic?
I will be when I'm on my own. Yeah, I'll have a few beers tonight. Yeah, very pleased. You know, it's just tough going, and practice didn't go so good, and I was down in the lower heat, so I just kept plugging away and getting better and better and better, and yeah, super pleased. Can't wait to ring my wife and tell her that she's still married to an A finalist.
The lower mains have started, and our march to a new world champ has begun. JP Richards, who qualified into the C main, marched his way towards the front. JP would finish 22nd overall.
I thought it went pretty good. I was right behind Hupo the whole time, and then I think he blew a corner on the left side of the track, and I got inside of him there. He kind of stuck around for a while, and then I kind of started to pull away from him, and then he started battling with the guy behind him. So I was trying to put Chase on to Gabrielson, who was in first, but just didn't have the time. And on a track like this, you just can't make up time like that.
JP's teammate Cavalieri would manage to squeeze into the A main, but Cav has much higher expectations on himself than just squeezing in. Has age finally caught up to him?
I feel pretty good, like driving-wise. Like I don't feel like that's really, my speed isn't really fading. I just think guys are getting a little better. We've kind of just hitting like a wall with, I feel like, our setup sometimes, and you know, we've done stuff to make it better, but we're just kind of off a little bit. I mean, our whole group, we've put 3 cars in the main, so I mean, we're going good. Just competition's hard.
As for Jared and Dakota, Tebow would win this stacked B main, which puts him 11th overall. Dakota would end his two-wheel drive title campaign down in the 16th spot. All eyes are now on the best 10 drivers of the week. X-Ray's hope for a title rests on the shoulders of Bruno Coelho, who would start the triple mains from the 4th spot. Spnecer was very confident, and his car looked very good on the track.
I drive the same I've been all week, and live and die out there on the track.
Would he win his second two-wheel drive IFMAR title today? The start was clean.
When you're in the back, you have to go really slow because everyone's trying to hit each other. Oh, and then I made a mistake on the far right and basically just drove around till the end. Like you really can't do much unless someone crashes. So, but I did make some changes on my car and it wasn't as good, so I'm going to go back to that. Hopefully, move forward a little bit in the next one.
The Tessmann camp, along with most of the X-Ray factory team, were very disappointed with their prototype two-wheel drive buggy. Up front, after a rare mistake by Rivkin, Davide Ongaro squeezed by.
I had a little bobble. David was able to get by me, and we pulled away from the other guys, and we were going to duke it out. I left it all on the line, and just shouldn't have made that bobble. I was pretty happy with, accommodating for what happened, and was able to come back and be there at the end and really be 6/10 behind them at the line. At that point, I was just thinking, maybe this score could be used for a tiebreaker. So. Just giving it all I had with what I had in the situation.
Davide Ongaro would hold on for the win. He was uncharacteristically nervous about the next race, though. Spnecer's speed was unmatched.
Yeah, because at the end I saw him closing up to me, and he was so fast also. So yeah, I'm nervous.
Just like A1, Spnecer and Davide were pulling away from the group. Tessmann has somehow managed to work the prototype buggy, which he never had comfort with, into a podium spot. Rolls it over on the pipe.
We worked on a car that I liked, but that's not what we got to race with, so yeah, a little bit disappointing, but we'll figure it out for the next race, and I'm sure we'll get there eventually.
Associated was putting on a clinic. Rivkin was holding off a hard-charging Ongaro. Spnecer would take the win, evening up the score in this AAA format.
That was solid. Not the best drive out of me, but it was good enough to get the job done on that one. It was a lot of pressure bouncing back after A1 and handling an A2 and made it happen. I'm really excited to battle it out because, a lot of respect to all these guys out there on the track. This is definitely the hardest driving. We're so finessed with what we're doing out there. It's just incredible, and I'm glad to be a part of my sponsors that support me. And of course, David, we're out there battling for the win for our sponsors, and I'm looking forward to A3.
The X-Ray team drivers were eliminated from contention at this point on their home track. After months of preparation back home on a loose backyard track, the Tessmanns were confident they had a setup package that the whole team could compete with. The team drivers were not given a choice. They were told what to run, and it just wasn't good enough.
It's hard after so much work, I think I deserved at least third place. So, but that's racing. It's not about deserving. It's about how you finish. So, our car was not really getting the rear traction. We need to be super careful on the throttle compared to the other guys. I felt a lot the exiting from the corners. They pull away a lot compared to us, and also off throttle it was not so stable like the other guys. So yeah,
just never got really comfortable with how the two-wheel drove, and I mean, at this level you need to have your car perfect, and it wasn't that. So kind of tried to do the best I could and struggle through it, but I'm definitely glad it's over and looking forward to four-wheel drive.
With only one final left, Team Associated would capture their 31st IFMAR title. The only question remaining, would it be Rivkin, or would Ongaro win his second IFMAR title in less than a year?
I mean, Davide wasn't letting it go easy on me, and honestly, I wanted to go toe-to-toe with him. I was like, let's go, let's pull away, let's battle it out.
Deep in the field, Maifield was battling with Tessmann. The two would finish 5th and 8th respectively. Neither of their buggies impressed at all. As for our Cinderella story of sorts, Neil Crack, who battled hard to get into the show, would finish right where he qualified, 10th overall. This might have been a disappointment for some, but not for Neil.
It's getting harder and harder to keep up with the kids who don't have a 9 to 5. We're still doing okay.
Back to the leaders. It was all Rivkin. He would cross the line to capture his second two-wheel drive world championship title.
Oh my God. Oh man, he did it.
Ever since that first four-wheel drive open win, the 2014 Reedy race, Spnecer hit the ground running, and he is considered one of the elite 10-scale drivers in the world.
On behalf of IFMAR, congratulations, Spnecer Rivkin, the new world.
Let's go! We put in a hell of a lot of work, and to come here to this facility in the X-Ray's backyard, and words can't describe what I'm feeling right now, and to do what I love to do as a hobby, a job, it's just incredible.
I'm feeling a lot more relaxed right now, but watching my kid go around the track is very stressful for me. I'm crossing my fingers and crossing my toes, and I'm just begging him not to crash. Just drive smooth. You don't have to go super fast. Just go easy. And he seems to be very relaxed out there and just driving at a nice pace. I can't be any happier. And he kept telling me, Dad, dreams do come true, right? And I says, absolutely, son, dreams do come true. And he's just living out his dream now. I don't know what else to say. I just love traveling with my son.
Even though these are CJ's very first Worlds, and he finished a very respectable 35th overall, the intensity in his pit was leaning towards toxic.
Two-wheel drive summit. Oh, I'm getting out of here. What was the highlight? What was the low light?
Highlight, I guess my car was really good right at the end, but the low was honestly struggling the entire time. That's probably going to be the hardest thing. So my confidence is not really there now, but I felt pretty good about four-wheel drive on any kind of track, so just get tires, get myself ready, and then go out there for four-wheel drive.
Disappointed clearly.
Yeah, well, especially for Kevin, he's not even barely will talk to me sometimes. Like it's really bad. So yeah.
With all that had just happened in two-wheel, it's hard to imagine that only now are we at the halfway point of these World Championships.
Unfortunately, we are not like a club with a lot of members who are willing to help. Basically, we had to do it with our workers, so it also was not easy because we have a lot of work in the company, but we need to move them for this event, and we wanted to have everything ready, so we had to prepare the layouts already before, that we know exactly when because we have only 1 day off to change the layout, and because of most of the part of the track is completely different, we had to pre-prepare it, to cut the carpets, the pipes and everything, to have everything ready, so in half a day we could change the layout from 2 to 4-wheel.
In order to prevent one car type from having an overwhelming advantage in certain sections of the track, IFMAR rules dictate that the track layout for the four-wheel drive World Championships must be changed to ensure a fair challenge for both two-wheel and four-wheel drive buggies. The track surface was also re-smoothed and sealed, but we all knew it would not hold together for long. He might be batshit crazy, but one thing that no one will deny, Uri Hudy worked his ass off at this event to make sure that these were among the best worlds ever held.
When I speak with some professional drivers, for example, like Jared Thibault, who told me also that before the event he had many people had concerns about this event, but when they are here and when they see everything how it's prepared, and they are really happy and they are having a good time. So when also the team drivers say that he's having a good time in our place, this is quite a good highlight for me as an organizer.
I think it looks really good. They did a good job at changing it up for us. They had a little more racier layout, I think, than what 2.0 was. So.
Team X-Ray started off the day with a group photo and a pep rally of sorts. They were hungry for a win here in four-wheel, and they might even be a little pissed off about being kept off the podium in two-wheel. Cav saying the layout was a bit racier might have been putting it too mildly. The added acceleration and overall speed of the four-wheel drive buggies made this a much more challenging layout. With the start of the brand new title chase, out came the new four-wheel drive buggies. Yokomo, taking a page out of the X-Ray playbook on how to completely mindfuck your entire team, was running a prototype car. And after the first practice session, it was clear that it was going to be another uphill battle for Maifield and the rest of the team.
So I'm going to go a different way. I went a little bit that time.
Your car looks really good. Like you're driving it super good.
Hit the cone coming on the straightaway. Seems like that's what everybody's liking to hit. Me and Bruno hit it, destroyed our car. 2 runs earlier than that, I hit the brick wall, destroyed the car too, so it's been fun. Thought 4-wheel drive was gonna maybe be a little easier than 2-wheel drive, and it's actually a lot harder. So just going through the motions, trying to figure out what to do.
Ryan was definitely frustrated. Practice would not go his way at all, but out of sheer will and mad skill, he drove his struggling buggy into the top heat for tomorrow's qualifying runs.
This will be I've been on it 5 times, so we got one more run. So, and we've basically changed like every setting on the car every single run. So it's a lot of work.
Just as it was in two-wheel drive, Team Associated would be running their publicly available B74 kits. Losi, while running a prototype buggy, took the safe route and copied 90% of the current edition of the X-Ray wheeler. We would show you, but Losi wouldn't allow body-off shots. X-Ray has given their teams the upcoming production version of their XB4 platform. While this edition of their four-wheel drive platform wasn't as good as the previous model year, it was nowhere near as bad as their prototype two-wheel drive car.
We'll start building a new kit. New four-wheel for the Worlds right here.
Tommy was back at it, with some expert help in the pits. Ty's mom. If you have to use someone's mommy in the pits, you cannot possibly go wrong with Leanne Tessmann.
They all call me Mom, just because I am their mom away from Mom at the track. I take care of them like I take care of Ty. He's a good kid. I like Tommy. He's pretty respectful. He works hard. He's fun to be around. He's just a good kid.
Yeah. She takes care of me. She makes me sandwiches. Doesn't let me eat pizza because that's fattening. So she's the mom for the week. It's nice, except for when she tells you have to finish a certain spot in your main in order to be able to have a beer.
Leanne, who is no stranger to being a pit guy, girl, lady, person.
We're down here, still in the hot bodies pit with Mrs. Tessmann. It's been no doubt a nerve-wracking day for a mom.
Yeah, I enjoy being in the pits and helping out. It's a little bit stressful, but I enjoy helping out and being part of it all.
Leanne has helped Ty in the pits since day one of his RC career.
A long 6 minutes. Long.
When he was, I believe, 8, he got a toy grade car from his grandparents that he played with, drove until the remote control wouldn't work anymore. Then from there we graduated him to a Tamiya Wild Dagger, and he used that for quite a while, and then went to an RC 10, I believe. And it just went from there. We never expected it would go as far as it did when his grandparents bought him that first car, but he just has a natural talent for it, and he loves it, and that's where it went.
At the conclusion of practice, which is the best 3 consecutive laps, Tommy Heinz has seated himself into the E grouping. If he was hoping for an improvement over two-wheel drive, he wasn't off to a great start. Heinz put in a solid run and improved his position to the bottom of the D group. Young CJ, who absolutely killed it in seating practice, has regressed. He is once again struggling and losing confidence.
I didn't drive good at all. So, yep. Not getting any better.
You're not the only one struggling. There's a lot of teams that are struggling, a lot of people struggling. It's the world, man. Anything can happen.
Yes, it can. That's right.
Just gotta keep your head up.
Yep.
When you're dealing with a mechanical failure, there's only so much you can do, but the self-blame still creeps in, especially when you're already on edge. When your career is hanging by a thread, any setback can feel like it's the one that's going to break you, even if it's out of your hands, like stripped internal diff gears. For the young RC racers, it's important to have a strong, positive support group, like the Mondays.
He's currently racing in two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive at the IFMAR World Championships here in Slovakia. He competed in China 2 years ago as well. That was his first Worlds campaign. It was exciting because he's racing with his dad, who's also competing here at this championship as well.
Christina and Ray have traveled all the way here from Australia to participate in their second World Championships. On the track, things are going great. Off track is a different story.
Both the kids got food poisoning. So, yeah, from about 11:30 last night, Jasmine started throwing up, and then Lockie as well. So, Chris looked after him, but I didn't get any sleep when it was like that. So, yeah, we came here. Lockie he slept through his first practice today. He got out for the qualifier, but yeah, bit of a rough night. So, not the best start to the last day, but.
The Mondays have 2 entries in these worlds, Dad Ray and son Lachlan. In the two-wheel drive segment, the young Monday was the victor, finishing 65th to his dad's 70th finishing position. Would this new event end with a new result? Or would youth once again prevail? In qualifying, Ray was out front for the first couple rounds of qualifying, but his son was confident that he would soon beat his dad.
Not yet, but I'm hoping to later on today. Just keep pushing. Hopefully have a good next run.
Is he pretty fast?
Yeah, he is. We've been very close recently, so it's been fun.
Is he wicked old?
Not wicked old, but he's getting there.
Once the dust of qualifying settled, Lachlan had bested his dad by placing himself 1 position higher, 83rd spot.
We're not looking for an A or a B final at this stage, obviously, but I just want him to come off the track and feel that he did the best that he could.
The Mondays all have the same attitude. They are here for the fun and experience, not because they have delusions of grandeur. It's now time for the top drivers to get to the track for their 5 rounds of qualifying. Just as it was in two-wheel drive, Spnecer has seeded into the B heat. Unlike two-wheel drive, Rivkin would have a very quiet four-wheel drive Worlds. Top seed was Bruno Coelho, but with all this pressure on him and the rest of their team, these 5 rounds of qualifying are sure to be a test for them all. While Tessmann seeded 3rd into the four-wheel drive heat, he looked off pace. Not what anyone expected, given that he was one of the favorites coming into the four-wheel class. Former Nitro World Champion David Ronefalk, who had a rather quiet two-wheel drive segment, was a bit sportier in this class so far. He seeded himself into the top heat and is putting in a solid first run. He would finish 5th overall. It was surprising to see that Ongaro was in the B qualifier and was struggling. 12th place was the best he could muster. At the top was the pride of X-Ray, Bruno Coelho. Adversely, Tessmann's buggy was off pace, and by will alone, he limped his XB4 across the line in 19th spot. The cause? A rare mechanical mistake.
Not a real good run for us, but I screwed up the first one, the rear diff in the front diff in the rear, that's why his car was broken.
We know the car's good, we just need to get a good run in there.
Bruno might have taken the TQ, but he was not the fastest man on the track. That honor belongs to Dakota Finn and his super secret prototype buggy. For Bruno, round 2 was a near carbon copy of the first round, except he improved his time by just over 1 second.
Yeah, now on Q2 I had much more feeling on the car because the round before I changed completely the setup. So on the Q1 I had no feeling in the beginning, so I need to find out the car again. And then during the round I start to find out the car. So now when I started, I know already how it reacts. So from the beginning I was very strong, and yeah, I just drove without making any mistake.
While things are going well for X-Ray, the opposite is somewhat true for Yokomo. Maifield has his hands full with an ill-handling buggy. The team is trying to find any way to gain rear traction without losing steering.
The bump steer, that'll get rid of that twitchiness mid-corner. So go to 2 millimeters.
With 2 TQs and 4 drivers in the top 10, X-Ray was poised for a strong showing. The biggest surprise was 14-year-old Daniel Kabovic. He seeded into the second spot and was currently in the third overall position.
Arena 6, Maifield 7, Bayern in the 8th spot, Tessmann down in 9, Bruno Coelho 10. Between 1 and 2, 2/10 of a second. 3/10 of a second between 1 and 3. 4/10 of a second between 1 and 3.
In the first round, he held off and actually pulled away from Finn.
In full drive it has been really good so far. I struggled a little bit in practice this morning, but the rest has been good. But my car is super aggressive, so I'll try to make it more easy to drive.
Is raw speed going to be the key to victory here?
I think everyone looks fast. It's just a matter of being consistent, I think, is the most important. Like Dakota was really fast but made a big mistake. I think this track can really bite you if you push too hard.
The key is putting a clean run in. Not really anybody's really doing that yet. I need to figure that part out, and I don't think we're looking too bad. We'll see.
As I said, we're over here brainstorming on what we can do and trying to work best we can with each other to see how we can go fast. I'm driving round to the best of my ability, trying not to throw it away.
Did you throw it away?
Yes, last lap. But it's pretty tough. Like even if you keep your car the same, every time you hit the track, it feels different. So like we come back here and have a different feeling every time.
With only 2 rounds in the books, a lot can change. A couple of years ago, in China, at this stage of qualifying, Maifield and his teammates were ready to pack up and go back home. We all know how that turned out. In round 3, we would see a turning of the tides. The track conditions were deteriorating with each passing heat. It was a struggle for the mechanics to keep up with the seemingly changing conditions, which is odd given that this is an indoor track. The constants at the Worlds are disappointment and unpredictability. Team Associated's fortunes have soured. Spnecer was their only driver currently in the top 10, and he was barely hanging on to that spot. There would also be a change in TQ this round. Bruno would lose to Dakota by the smallest of margins, less than 1/10 of a second.
2 minutes down, 3 minutes to go.
Finn's buggy still looked a bit edgy and hard to drive, but he managed to hold on to it for the entire 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was a pretty good run. I almost biffed it on the first lap. But yeah, I managed to save it and just kind of put my head down and ran super clean laps after that. And track's getting pretty hard out there. There's a couple of holes and stuff that are really kind of in bad spots. The car hits and kind of gets all edgy and sideways and stuff. So just tried to hit my lines right, and the car's carrying a lot of corner speed. So just trying to drive mistake free out there. Yeah, the rag's working real well. So is the new body. So very limited time on it, and just been making small changes to get more comfortable. But the car has awesome speed, and it's just going to get better from here.
After 7 days of intense racing action at these Worlds, fatigue begins to become a factor. Will it start to affect any of the top drivers? Bruno, along with his teammate Martin Bayer, would suffer DNFs in the 4th round. This would give the overall TQ to Dakota, for now. It wasn't all bad news for X-Ray though. Tessmann worked his way through the field to finish in 3rd. After a 19th and a 12th place finish, Ty desperately needed this.
I'm just really thankful he got a good run in.
Came out of the gate super strong and just tried to hold the gap from there. A lot of people were making mistakes out there and almost crashed a couple times, but held on to it and was able to come on with a TQ.
Pretty happy?
Yeah, super happy. We got one more round tomorrow to make it happen, and then we'll be into the mains. So, game plan: just keep the car the same, go through it, make sure everything's good to go, and just keep on running it.
Across the paddock, Team Schumacher, one of the smaller team in attendance, is quietly putting together a solid four-wheel drive campaign. While Mikhail Orlowski's 19th place finish in two-wheel drive isn't what he had hoped for, things are going quite differently here in four-wheel.
It was a good run. I got second, clean run. Had good tires for the beginning. Had some small mistakes out there because the track was pretty tough. But a consistent uptime, but it was fine. Got second, so I'm looking forward to Q5.
Even though Maifield has essentially guaranteed his spot in the show, after tasting the victory of an IFMAR title and cashing in a pair of rather large contingency checks from his sponsors, just making it isn't good enough for him.
A couple ups, a lot of downs. Track's hard. It's hard to figure out what to do. It's hard to drive. I mean, it's just a lot of hard. Everything's hard, basically. So we're done. We're doing this. We're downloading, trying to figure out if there's anything we can do to get a game plan for tomorrow. And I guess the good news is only one more day.
As the sun sets on the penultimate qualifying round, the end of the event is nearing. As the track crew tucks in the track for the night, the drivers head out for a well-earned evening of escape, seeking anything that might help them unwind and shake off the intensity of the race.
Booty hole, my balls, suck on my balls, in the asshole.
It's the final day of the 2019 IFMAR Worlds. It's very likely that more than a few teams would be more than a little bit tempted to toss their buggies into this trash bin.
I mean, the electronics seem fine, and the car seems fine for 80% of the lap, and then for 20% of it, it's like, you know, it's pretty unpredictable. You don't really know, what it's going to do. So that's hard to figure that out because of how big the track is, how fast it is, and there's so many holes developing. It's way more rough than for two-wheel drive. All the landings of the jumps are exploding, and
it's really not like big rough, just like tons of chatter, and the dirt's always kind of like breaking, it seems like, so your car's just not really like under you really ever. So, and then, you're going from the dirt to the concrete, it seems like way more often on this layout than the two-wheel, and the grip just changes a lot out there. Not like during the run, but just each corner just feels totally different. So it's a really challenging track, but it's fun.
Even though all 124 competitors are running the exact same tires, some of the top drivers are getting a little bit sneaky with them.
I'm running scrap-in once. I ran new tires in Q2, and I'm running scrap-in for the Q5, and for the final step, long warm-up. I think like 3 minutes I'll go new in final, and I will bed them in before the start.
They are easier to drive, so the car has a little bit less steering, but it's more round around the corner. So that, in 5 minutes make it easier without so many mistakes, So yeah, I prefer to use it.
I think there's kind of like if you want to come out of the gate a little bit better or not. I think the scrub-in ones are better. I think they maybe fall off a little bit at the end, but it's just kind of give and take.
With Dakota and Bruno tied with 2 TQs each, round 5 will be the deciding round. Finn, having the better overall time, earns the number 1 plate and starts out first. Is Finn better at leading than Coelho is at chasing?
Everybody's on the way. Group number 13 on the track here for the IFMAR World Championship 5th round. Qualified group number 13.
Even though Bruno is behind Dakota on the track at this point, he has just passed him on the clock and is leading by 2/10. With that being said, it is in this round that we begin to see Bruno's weakness, the quad jump.
Maifield 34.
He cases it and gives the lead back to Dakota.
34-2 for Fenn, 34-4 for Cumberland, 34-4 for Tessmann, 34.
As time on this final round of qualifying winds down, the final starting positions for the A finals have been decided. But who has earned the pole position? Is it Fenn or is it Coelho?
9th spot, Ty Tessmann. 8th spot, Spnecer Rivkin. 7 goes to Marco Garofalo. 6 goes to Ryan Maifield. 5 goes to David Ronafat. 4th qualifier, Danny Calloway. 3rd position, Michael Olowski. In the 2nd position, Dakota Fenn. Starting from the front, top qualifier, starting position 1, Bruno Coelho.
That was a very good qualifier, very close with the quota. Yeah, in last qualify was very tight with him. He did a small mistake in the hand that cost him maybe the TQ. It's good for me, so I will start first. It will be difficult for sure in the finals. Track is very difficult. He will attack for sure because we have more or less same pace, so I cannot for sure go away. So I will need to play a little bit on the defense. So we'll see.
Lower mains start just after lunch. Paul Parks is first on the track. He would finish his first ever Worlds 119th out of 124 competitors, and he had the time of his life.
Brilliant event. Had a bit of a rough go on my main, but I drove through it. Happy with it. Came here with no expectations and did quite well. This event, telling other people, is just it's worth every penny. I have no regrets about coming here at all.
A few mains up, the Monday boys would finish their Worlds with Dad in 72nd and Son a few spots back in 75th.
It's been a challenge actually, so the track is quite different to what we're used to driving. So there's been a steep learning curve there. We've enjoyed the atmosphere, we've had a great time, we've learned a lot, but the racing has been hard. It's been a real challenge, but you learn a lot. You learn a lot, you'll take it home, and hopefully in 2 years' time in the US we'll have learnt things from here that we can use there. So you have to look at the bright side of everything.
CJ's struggles spilled over from the two-wheel drive event into his four-wheel drive campaign. Even though he seeded into the B group, qualifying didn't go at all his way. He would win his main, but it was the E main. He would end his Worlds in 41st spot, far short of expectations. Tommy Heinz qualified into the D main. He drove from the back of the pack to the front for the win, and he earned an extremely respectable finish, 35th place.
Awesome experience. Driving, mediocre, but awesome experience.
JP Richards, also running the prototype Yokomo buggy, had his challenges and didn't quite meet up to his self-imposed expectations for the class.
Overall, I'm happy with how I did. I kind of under-exceeded in four-wheel drive, I think, a little bit, but considering the track conditions, how rough they were, I thought it went all right. I mean, I had really consistent runs. They were all inside the top 30, so I'm happy about that. Finished 25th overall. I thought I did pretty good.
Cav would make the C, but for a triple world champion of the four-wheel drive class, this wasn't good enough. In the stacked B main, featuring the likes of Jared Tebow, Lee Martin, Davide Ongaro, it would be Brock Champlin taking the win.
The grip just changes. Each corner just feels totally different. So it's a really challenging track, but it's fun. When you get a good lap, it's really fun to drive around. It's you just have to be really, really accurate. It's probably one of the toughest tracks where you have to drive really aggressive, but then smooth in some spots, but then like extremely accurate on your car placement.
Tebow and Martin would finish up in the 13th and 14th spots overall.
It's the first time I've missed a two-wheel main since 2007. But great event, like they put on a really good event. Track was good. I mean, a little bit more grip would have been nice for us, but obviously we need to make our cars a little faster as well. But overall it's been a great event. The guys, the Hudy Arena, have done an amazing job. It's been a pretty fun Worlds, just the results haven't been what I wanted.
It's time for us to see who the world champion will be for the four-wheel drive event.
This is my first time really kind of like being in the heat of it for the win. So super exciting, and just gonna take the opportunity and do the best I can with it.
Bruno pulls into his starting position. He has selected the outside line for the grid spot. He chose wisely and has a clean start. A mistake this early on would be disastrous. Coelho holds on and settles into a groove. Just seconds in, the top three have already started to pull away from the rest of the pack.
Orlowski hanging on to the two guys up front. The chain loses. Now we got two small chains, a three-man group. The rest of the farms behind after the first couple of laps. Going down over the loop for the first time. 35-0 for Coelho, 34 flat for Finn, 34-7 for Orlowski. 1, 2, 3 on top.
Finn is clearly faster than Coelho on the left side of the track.
Still up front, we got ourselves Bruno Coelho and Dakota Finn, fighting for this first win. 1 minute down, 4 minutes to go. Maifield trying to come up to Orlowski. Dakota Finn knocking at the door from Bruno Coelho now this time. Coming down the lane, great.
Halfway in, the top three are unchanged. Coelho, Finn, Orlowski. But Bruno's lead is a precarious one, and a section that he began to struggle with in round 5 is about to cost him the lead.
I was just trying to stay as close as I could to him and not push the issue. The track is really hard, and I was just gonna kind of wait and see what happens, and then just kind of go from there.
Bruno appeared rattled and fell off Dakota's pace. And if his little buggy had rear view mirrors, it would be full of Orlowski's shock tower. Bruno manages to hold on, but has the damage been done to his confidence? Will he be gripping his controller just a bit tighter every time he goes over the quad now?
I did a small mistake on the quad. I jumped too short and let front go by. Then I did some small touches on the pipe that make me lose some time to to Dakota, but then in hand I was catching him again. So we'll see next one.
I got a good start, got in my rhythm right away, and just followed Bruno until he made a mistake and was able to get by on the inside and just tried to stay clean from there on out. He was going really fast there towards the end, but I had enough of a gap to hold him off.
With the win in the first A final, Dakota just needs one more to become the world champion. Coelho gets another clean start from the outside line and holds off Finn. For now. Back in the pack, it's a dogfight for position. Rivals Ronafalk and Tessmann are making a Daniel Kabovic sandwich right now. Maifield would like to see them tangle so he can move up the leaderboard. For now, the order remains unchanged. Unlike the first round, the top three did not pull away from the pack. A mistake by any of the top three would be extremely costly and would be nearly impossible to recover from. In the fight for seventh, Maifield and Tessmann tangled. But that wouldn't be the only racing incident. Bruno, who has struggled with the quad, gives Dakota an opening. He takes it aggressively. The X-Ray team lets out a collective gasp, fearing the worst. The IFMAR officials reviewed the pass on the replay monitor in pit lane, but deemed it a clean pass. Finn was in the lead, but his low-C buggy is quite aggressive. Would he be able to hold on to it for the last half of this race and earn his first ever IFMAR title?
Here that Dakota Finn in the front, Coelho in the 2, Alonso in the 3 spot, David Rivkin in 9, Finn Rivkin in the 10.
Finn crashes. Coelho capitalizes.
We got 1 minute 15 seconds left on the clock. By his own mistake, rolled in the small carousel. Okay. Let's see what he can do this time. Nice and clean race here. We want to see a nice and clean race here the last lap. You're on.
It's the final lap. If Dakota gets by Bruno, he is the world champ. If he is held off, the crowning ceremony will have to wait for the third and final main.
Very light line for Coelho this time. Didn't open any chances for Dakota to do any.
Bruno, with deft precision, gives Dakota absolutely nothing to work with, and he crosses the line first.
Yusuke in the 6, Tessmann in the 7, Maifield 8, Rona from 9, Spades in the 10.
Martin Bayer was fired up about what he perceived as a dirty pass, but Bruno knows full well that this is a pass that he pulled many, many, many times.
The problem is he knows I'm struggling there, so he all the time tries to arrive close.
What he did, I don't understand they don't call, because if
ever
you raise like
I was
this,
okay. I opened a little bit. Yeah. It was hard, but I will do the same. I mean, he opened a little bit. He put the car immediately, you know. So it was hard. It was okay.
I mean, he's fast. He's been really good. He's won previous four-drive worlds, so just gonna do all I can do, and that's all I'm in control of.
With the results in, most of the field had been mathematically eliminated from leaving Trencin with a four-wheel drive title.
Yeah, none of my four-wheel drive mains went well. Started 6th and got up to 4th in A1. About 2 minutes, I had to tap out. My brain couldn't handle it anymore, and finished 10th. Round 2, kind of the same. Got a couple positions on the start. Car was just super hard to manage, and made a slight mistake. A couple people got by, and it just went downhill from there. And happy to be in the main, both classes. I don't think video is going to do this track justice, how difficult it really is, and how much it changes every lap. So the guys that did well this weekend, congrats. They definitely probably worked their ass off to get to where they got to finish. And
Ty would be one of 3 X-Ray buggies in the top 5. but he was here to win, not to finish 5th.
It just kind of struggled through the whole thing. I managed to make the main in 9th, but then we worked on the car after that still and got it feeling better, which I was able to drive to 4th the last one, but still it wasn't really on the top pace. So as far as everything goes, I think there's nothing really to complain about. Just some people struggled more than others, some people had really good runs, so it's just the World Championships, you never know what you're going to get.
Both Bruno and Dakota have their strengths and weaknesses on this layout. It's impossible to say which of them will win the title at this point.
There's 20 amazing drivers, so it's just, whoever has their car. I mean, obviously Dakota's going super fast, which, you could say, oh, maybe that's surprising because it's a new car, but I mean, he's an excellent driver, so, obviously their car's working good. Bruno's super fast, but I mean, that was to be expected, so it's just about being comfortable out there.
Unlike the first 2 finals, Bruno appeared to be the faster of the 2.
He was worried before the mains, I know that for sure. He was questioning stuff, and Dakota was pushing so hard that it's just, I know the feeling. I've been in his position where you TQ, but the guy in second is fast, and you don't really know what he's going to do, and he could win, so it's not a very nice feeling.
He has pulled away and built up a small gap, but one mistake could wipe that out in an instant. The inevitable crash does indeed happen, just not to Bruno.
No, just barely clipped the pipe. Right when I went on the concrete, sometimes you have the wheel just turn a little bit too much and it just grabbed and kind of sucked me into the pipe a little bit, and I think just barely rubbed it. So
he's not done yet, because he flipped, it's true, but you need to finish first to win.
The pressure is by no means off Coelho yet.
I did more mistakes after he flipped than actually when I was in front of him,
After the mistake on the front straight, Dakota was down in 4th position behind Orlowski and Ronefalk.
Time is 12 seconds, time on the clock, 12 seconds.
Orlowski would drop off the pace. At the front, Bruno played closer, taking his 2nd off-road IFMAR Worlds title.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bruno Coelho, new world champion 2019. Congratulations, Bruno. Congratulations, Bruno. The race. Let's take
obviously a little bit of disappointment, but pumped to be able to come out here with the new car and have such a great first showing with the car. And I'm happy with the driving. It drove good. Just a couple little mistakes here and there that cost me.
It was a very hard Worlds. I think since I win 2015, the first Worlds 4 drive, I never had a such hard race or Worlds like this one. Really, my last Worlds last year was very hard also with Volker, very emotional. This one as well. So I think these ones have a better taste. I think in the hands. I made a very good race with Dakota. in the end, it's run well for me. So I could say I was a little bit lucky, but you know, the races are like this. You know, today I was lucky, tomorrow he's lucky, or another guy. So I'm for sure super happy about this win. I want to say thank you to all my family, my father especially, my girlfriend that support me all the time, and all the time I'm out, she's at home alone, let's say, I hope. Yeah, to my sponsors, to my friends, to my teammates that support me all the time, was amazing what they did today. All the time believing on me and telling you can do it, even knowing that I was maybe a little bit slower than Dakota. So yeah, thank you to all these people that support me during all these years.
Thank you so much for our sponsors.
Spit on it. Push the top in. It's a wrap.
It's safe to say that young Lachlan enjoyed his time here at the Hudy Arena. He continues to actively race, beating his dad a lot more consistently now. CJ Jelin would end his RC career just a short time after these Worlds. Daniel Kabovic would win the Junior Worlds titles in 2- and 4-wheel drive. He now races for Schumacher. Jared Tebow would retire in 2024, but it would be short-lived. As of 2025, he's back at it. Ty Tessmann would continue to rack up the wins for X-Ray on the Nitro side. He would retire from RC in 2024. Now he goes wheeling in the Rocky Mountains with the Drop. While Maifield struggled at these Worlds, he continues to defy the laws of nature, and at 36 years of age, his pace has yet to drop off. Tommy, well, what can you say? He's a character that made these Worlds very enjoyable for everyone around him. Ronnie, the proud pop of the two-wheel drive world champion, adds another trophy shot to his vast collection. Spnecer now joins 16 others as a two-time IFMAR World Champion. Bruno, the pride of X-Ray, is in slightly more elite company. His four-wheel drive title here will be his fourth, and he joins two other drivers, including Ryan Cavallari, with the fifth most titles in IFMAR history.
RC sucks and I'm quitting.
As for me, this 6-year-long journey has come to an end, and I am quitting too. But what a journey it has been. I got to cover some of the most amazing bucket list races during the industry peak of the professional RC car racing scene. Some of my personal favorite events were the Reedy races I attended as media and as a participant. The Fear Farm DNCs were always amazing events. And I went to a whole bunch of those over the years. Even though I only attended one, the Neo race was such a fun event. Phil was a true visionary. Too bad he quit RC too. The Southern Nationals will always be a stand-up for me as well. The hospitality that Chris and Caleb showed me was far and above any other event promoter. But for me, the greatest memory will always be my first Worlds in Messina, Italy. Not only was it my first ever IFMAR event, but my friend Ty won. I was so fortunate to be able to tell these stories at some of the most amazing RC facilities ever constructed. If RC had a Hall of Fame, and I believe it should, I had the pleasure of seeing what I consider to be first-round ballot entries in their prime. Seeing Maifield, Cavalieri, and Thibaut, along with a host of other once-in-a-generation drivers, put on a show for me on the track, event after event, was truly a privilege and an honor for me. I will always be grateful to Todd Madsen and Proline for entrusting me with this series. Huge shout out to Tim, Gerardo, Paul, and of course, the hardest working guy on all of RC, Daniel Adams. And while I know that drivers absolutely despise this ritual, I absolutely love the champagne celebrations at the end of the race weekend. It took me a while to find my mojo filming these, but I got some absolutely memorable wins captured here. As amazing as all those standalone races were, my favorite events have always been the IFMAR Worlds. Even though I'm pretty sure Dallas and the IFMAR and Roar crews couldn't stand me being around,
Take it away.
I absolutely loved seeing the best from all around the world competing together on the same track. Seeing my friend Ty win in 14, Bruno Coelho in 16, Maifield doubling up in 17 and Davide in 18, along with Spnecer and Bruno here in 19, are memories I will cherish forever. It's been a slice.
So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos and memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life.